Hey y'all, this is Hannah. For those of you who don't know me, well, I am a blogger because I love to write, and that's my passion, writing. But yesterday I wrote a blog concerning women who have won the vote to become members of the House of Congress. And it was concerning to me that so many more of us need to get involved. This year, we barely escaped something that actually frightened me to no end, and that was the fact that we're not going to have any checks and balances in our system. So, I am deciding that to do my part, I am going to raise awareness about what's going on the national, the local, and the global stage. It is so important. When you say, Hannah, what's the difference between what you're doing and what we're already watching on the news? Not a whole lot. But the difference is I'm going to break it down to you in a way that you can relate. As a woman, as a mother, as an African American, as an underemployed citizen, and an overeducated citizen, I think that maybe what I have to say will be relevant and that many of you will feel the need to pay more attention to what's going on in your world. Let me tell you a little story about a person who was determined that it was not all about them and they could not really worry about what was going on in the world. There was this guy, right? And he lived on a somewhat busy street. True story. But he had become very depressed and he was almost to the point where he was a hermit. Well, he wouldn't go out the house at all, hardly. He stayed locked up in his living room watching cable, getting his comfortable little Social Security check every month. Well, one day, as luck would have it, or unluckiness would have it, there was an accident on his street. And believe it or not, a bus ran into his house and hit the area right where he was sitting. It was only by the grace of God that he managed to escape this horrible accident in his house while he was avoiding living. Needless to say, from that day on, that person was no longer a hermit. He was out and about living because he realized there's no way to avoid life. You have to get out there and embrace it. And that's how so many of us are. We are so comfortable, especially in our older years like me. Many of us are getting our little retirement check or our Social Security check. And as long as we have a warm place and a roof over our head, we are content that life is okay. Why get involved with all that stuff? I love the Lord. I praise Him daily. He's going to take care of all of that. But God told us that we perish for the lack of knowledge. So it is important for all of us to be wise. So having said that, I'm going to do a little series to keep up and to just give you a little segment of what I feel is important as I watch the news. Because, see, I am a watcher. And the difference between someone who is just a looker and a watcher is vastly different. A watcher prepares as they look at what's going on in the world. They prepare, they're informed, and they're ready. And they also help other people get ready. I am a watcher. Lookers are people who just like to be nosy. They look on constantly and they never take any steps to do anything about anything. They just feel like, well, that doesn't apply to me. And most of the time they miss what's relevant and what will really apply to them. So enough of that. Join me as I take on this initiative to watch what's going on in our society. Hope to see you every week right here